Hey guys, welcome back to the casting desk here at the ASUS RG DreamLeague. I'm Randy Pixel, I'm here at Dresco. We're ready to get ourselves into Game 2 between NLG Gaming and Monkey Freedom Fighters. The match has already begun. Andy has shown us a lot of manly heroes here. Who do you feel came out on top in your own personal opinion in this lineup?
I actually like the Centaur from NLG. I thought Meeple would have been a pretty mediocre pick given the fact they already have Wyvern and Ember Spirit, two of probably the absolute best Meeple counters in the game.
Okay.
So I think that it would have been nice for them to take it if they didn't have one or the other. Like if there was no Wyvern or no Ember, I think it could have been an option, but since they already also picked the hero for Excalibur, I thought it was pretty unlikely that it would come out, but I am inclined to agree with the rest of the couch. I think the MFF have maybe the better draft, but I don't think it's like so much better that the game is unwinnable. I actually feel that NLG have a pretty good shot here. Just depends on what the Brood is able to accomplish here.
He wants to look for an intake, and not going to get it, so it's going to be grabbing the bounty rune here for the side of NLG. At the same time, Bottom Lane Rise did manage to take it when his bristleback. Demon's going to get pushed back here. They're trying to chase him down.
He doesn't have web for quite a while.
And continuing to go from there. Zirac around. Waitu's there to help out with the Arctic burn. So God is still trying to lift the demon. And that's going to turn their attention elsewhere. Rise has now time to look to the fight here. And there's actually going to be a glimpse back onto Waitu. Waitu's brought back next to Milan. It's a bit of a mess, this fight.
Alright, this is clowny.
And okay, there's a stun onto Rise. Spartan's managed to make himself, get himself out of it. Looks like right now with the quill sprays, this is going to be the first blood. Milan going down there to Rise. So first blood here for Rise. I mean, that was a very long first blood and a very long room fight. Coming up to 50 seconds into the game there for that whole kind of, well, everyone was involved pretty much apart from the Ember and then who else was there? I think the whole of NLG were there, weren't they?
Yeah, pretty much. It was the entirety of NLG, and then the only person who wasn't there for MFF was the Ember. So Singh was sitting there farming away bottom. The lanes coming out right now. Okay, Garter, you might be dead.
This is a nasty lane.
Yep.
Very nasty lane. That's the second kill for MFF. Straight off the bat, it's already looking a bit rockier for the side of NLG, that's for sure.
Yeah, Demon's just going to be making his way towards bottom, and Singh will be rotating towards top just to make sure they get the lanes they were looking for. So, all things considered, Demon's going to be starting off pretty much level 2 against the Centaur lane, and it does seem to be a 1 versus 1 as the Lich at level 3 is also leaving.
Okay. Alright, we'll see how NLG are able to do on the top lane then, if they're going to position more heroes up there. And the question is this mid lane, how good is the bristleback really against the Rise Andy?
It's kind of like a 50-50. Yeah. So the nice thing about bristleback against this lane is that if you're on point with turning around, you can mitigate a lot of the combo damage with bristleback just by turning. So that's good. But the bad thing is, if both of them get 6, they're going to have like infinite mana for spamming, and you can see that Spartan already has one in his inventory, so that is kind of the downside to it. This is more of a I just don't want to die pick, but he can die anyway.
They're trying to go for him here. He's got a fair bit of region, he has got the 3 balls, and his Raw toss might do it, and it will. Alright, actually turning around there, takes to the face. Spartan getting low, but he's not going to go down. A very nice little bit of action off NLG taking down the bristleback mode. And also, talking about the stats really with this pairing, Tiny and I are most picked pair at the moment in 6.85 competitive, and 73.7% win rate in competitive at the moment for the couple. So
not bad.
Stats are on the side of NLG this match.
I really like the Wisp and the Tiny whenever you have other lanes that need to be dealt with, because you're always going to be getting a very fast level 6, like, unless for whatever reason the enemy team decides to dual lane mid, in which case you're going to not maybe hit 6 quite as quickly, but you're going to be able to get stacks, you're going to be able to go clean it up. That's the one thing that MFF kind of struggle with.
Ooh, look at Excalibur. He's not better than
he can't go all the way. But a lot of teams have the capability of contesting a sack. I feel like MFF are going to have a really hard time doing that. Okay. So this Wisp and Tiny are going to have a phenomenal start. Relocate with a Dust and a Centaur ulti kills that Brood like almost every time. I'd say it's going to be very difficult for Demon to get out of harm's way if they really want to try to commit to killing him. So I actually think the NLG, if they can keep their laning phase stable, get Excalibur and Spartan to a point where they can start moving around, they should look pretty good here mid-game.
Okay, in the mid-lane run, trying to move in again with the Spirits, bringing the Rise fairly low. They're just going to try and dive it. Avalanche straight up, Stu moves in with the toss, and the Rise is going to get taken down once again. Here comes the reaction, Yapsor. He's going to avoid here for a couple of seconds. And the code actually being used here as well, very precariously.
I think he was waiting for a bottle crow there, but never got a chance to put it on.
Nonetheless, NLG finding themselves the 2 kill in return. 2 kills to matter quite a bit as well. The fact that they are on to a rise on his bristleback. And if you set him back, and as you said, get a good timing on the level 6 on that IO, that's pretty much what NLG are going to be hoping to play for. We know they're the kind of team that really revel on getting on top as soon as possible, and having that relocate could just be the ticket to do so.
The other thing too that they have going is this Centaur doesn't really need to get a Blink Dagger so quickly because they already have a good amount of catch just by having Stampede.
Yes.
So you're not really relying on Garter to win his lane so much as you are just, okay, get the Stampede, we partner that with a relocate, we should be able to get kills just based off of that. So we're seeing Yapsor here, he really wants to find that Wisp, but I don't think he does.
He's hanging around there, yeah, they're going to just turn onto him. There's the toss. Moving forward here with the slow as well. Yapsor's got to run. He's got that benefit of the night time. We're getting very low here. There's another toss. The silence coming through now. The slow from the void. Yapsor.
Throw the Wisp on him maybe.
Is he going to go for it? He's going to be careful because the rise has turned up and that was starting to move straight in. And there's the toss back. And is he going to catch it? Over the outright as well. Steve gets the kill onto Yapsor. Alright, trying to fire up. Is he going to be able to find it? Yes, the risk. He's going to back up. Steve's going to live fine. It goes down. But not before he gets a double kill. And now the Brimstones are way too. They're going to be able to clean that one up as well. Demon now turns over to the fight. Can he get some recovery kills over the side? It looks like he can. He gets one. Stampede comes out. Malone running away. But Demon's pretty speedy here under the webs. We'll just chase him down. So it's a good job that Demon turned up the end for the side of MFF. Getting a bit of a cleanup and turning the exchange for a 3 for 3. So
was that Centaur actually level 6 for a longer period of time?
He must have just hit it.
No, he's like halfway through. He definitely had Stampede for a little while. I think maybe if he had Stampeded sooner, the Brood wouldn't have been able to clean up like that. I don't know, hard to say. Maybe he still chases them with webs. I guess he is covering both sides of the river at this point with webs. So.
I mean, so Tiny gets a double kill, but does die, and Demon is going to get the double kill again, so... Do you think that is a clear one from MFF or one of the both teams
I'm kind of torn because I don't really think that Brood is that big of a deal this game.
Yeah, okay.
Like some games I'd say, alright, this team has a really tough time dealing with Brood. I don't think this is one of them for NLG. They can relocate Genkin, they have a Tiny who is going to eventually be buying Aghanims, they can Frost Armor towers, like they have a ton of ways. Even just having a Thunderstrike into a Glimpse, that owns Brood so hard. Like normally you can just walk into the tree line and be safe, but you can't if you have Dust and you're Thunderstruck, because you always get Glimpse back. So I don't think that late game or mid game Brood even is going to be too big of a nuisance for NLG. I think they're going to be more relying on like this Ember Spirit, I guess, because they've already had a couple of deaths on a rise, and Bristleback from behind is not really that great of a hero.
It's going to be interesting what Sing Sing does in terms of a build on the Ember. He normally likes to get online those very early boosts of travel. He's saving up the money already, so I imagine that is where it's going to be going for first of all. This game on mid lane. Skyler jumping in onto a rise, and as you said, at the same time, Sing Sing wants to try and find Mitch. He's got the flame guard out, the Searing Chains as well, Mitch. Alright, okay. I mean, Sing does get a kill before he goes down, but he doesn't end up going down. Bad chain frost to the face.
That's still not even worth it though. Like you don't want to trade offlaner for an Ember. Like that is the reverse stream, especially considering he gets those free sacrifices on lane. He's already taking away farm from you. Like look at his farm. Compare that to what Garter and Excalibur have right now. They're actually losing their lanes.
Demon, starting to jump away with town.
There's a Dust. This should be a dead Brood.
Okay as well. A lot of hate being thrown down onto Jimmy.
But that's what I mean, like see how easy it is for them to deal with that? Yeah. Sure, he might have been a little bit out of position, but if they see you at all, and you have Thunderstrike on, you are dead. Like you cannot run.
Yeah, that's I mean, I guess the Brood, at this point then, what would you do in terms of keeping yourself alive? Do you just turn to the jungle, wait till later, farm yourself a BKB, or? You
just want to stay away from the Centaur, because the Centaur is the hero that kind of guarantees the kill, because if he's able to walk into you, and then you get like stomped on, or you know, you get vision, you get glimpse, that's what kills you pretty much. So if you can stay out of vision for a while, maybe get like a BKB going early, I think that would be ideal. He is going straight minus though, this is pretty standard Brood stuff. Smith is also being pressured here by NLG. I'm actually really liking what NLG have here. They have a lot of options. I feel like MFF, their Night Stalker, I haven't really felt the presence of it so much. Of course, it's only been a couple of night phases so far. But I don't know, what is it supposed to be doing right now?
I mean, it's obviously one of those heroes that has that kind of peak as well when he will eventually get the Alchemy to enter the fight. That's going to be a long way away at this point, and Jimmy opting for the earlier Midas on the spider hit. 9 minutes in, so it's a pretty good timing, of course. But I'm interested what he does kind of do with it and the money that he'll get and what he'll do next. If he does he go for it? Does he use Orchid, for instance, this game? Is that going to be something he thinks about? Or?
Orchid is alright. Like,
yeah, to do with the IO.
If you want to pressure, get that mana regen going, then I think it's alright, but I still think you're going to
it was just be quiet again. They're going to throw into this one as well.
He's dead once more. Can't do anything about that.
Rinse and repeat from NLG. It worked the first time, it's going to work the second time. We get the deny as well. Very nice movement there from NLG.
So, the thing that you have to think of right now for MFF is, what are their options? When your brood gets 4-manned, you're supposed to be able to take something else. Like, that is a standard play. When you have a brood on your team, you don't actually want to help the brood, you want to stay away from him and get space.
Excalibur wants to go. Winston's Curse is going to get popped down here, but Excalibur just doesn't care. He's being tethered up and healed up by Spartan. Going to try and chase down Wake 2 here now with a slow from Mist. Ring forward from the Tiny. Got the caught embrace, but it doesn't matter. It's a splinter the Spartan flag through. Breathing Light's now moving in. Let's see if we can find anything on the recovery, but no points in the slide. Would have to run up forward and didn't really want to do that. He knows that they're concerned. So NLG, all things said and done, playing very nicely. Now we're at a point where 10 minutes in, your center's got to blink as well.
I'm actually feeling like MFF are really far behind. Like, it's not really a huge kill discrepancy, but I don't really think they have the tools necessary to fight. Like, their team seems to just be a bunch of heroes that were meant to be like kind of counter picks in a certain way, and just making sure they had stable lanes. But where is their team fight? Like, Ember, you have 3 melee heroes essentially. You know, Ember, Night Stalker, and then the Bristleback, and then you have a Wyvern. It's like, okay, where's your synergy? What is your kill potential? What is your win condition as this lineup? I actually have no idea. Like, when are you strong? Because that Ember is going to have to cut through a Centaur and a Tiny, both of which are ahead of him right now in terms of overall net worth. You don't have good 5-man. Like, it's okay, but it's not great. Your support Night Stalker hasn't really done anything for you up until this point. It's gonna be, I don't know. It is gonna be hard for them. Relocate here? Okay. You gotta get yourself out way too with the Yaps, or you may be the ones to tank this as the full side of NLG move in. It's gonna be able to run off, but here's the chain frost and the double edge. Really has some burst down Yapzo on the NS. Then we have to find more. Blink forward the Moose Storm, also waiting for Toss as well. 2 more kills there for NLG, and they really are playing to their strengths here, and they just know exactly what to do with the kind of lineup that they've drafted. This is some really smart stuff from the Raiden. Yeah, I'm really liking the way this game is working out for them. I think it would have been a lot easier if Arise hadn't died a few times mid. Like, he died, what, 2 times, I think? He got 2 times and then killed. So with that, it puts the Tiny in a really good spot. Here as well. His flame rate's gonna go down. He has no spirits. Oh, this is so painful for MFF. Sing still yet to really find anything in terms of farm. Had 1400 naked gold on him, is now down to 1200, so each time losing dollar. And he is still trying to get that 2k for the boots and travel, and it's going to be a very late power box at this point. Mid lane, they might find Mitch, he's going to the TP out though, he's not going to get away with it. MFF making sure that they don't lose any kind of kills that are offered up, and they do put the Winter's Curse for that one. Yeah, I mean, you got a Winter's Curse on Lich, just so he doesn't get away. It's not a great position. Not the dream. Yeah. They have another relocate in 8 seconds. They have more dust. Looks like they're just going to go for the tier 1. But here's the problem. NLG can fight almost like once a minute. You wait for the relocate. The Centaur ulti, of course, is a little bit longer of a cooldown, about a minute and a half. But if you have both of those things at your disposal, any hero is a kill. Yeah, so here's your relocate again. There's no way. You can't run this combo. You're dead. Like, you just kills them every time. The other thing too is they'll get the IO though. Oh, they brought back Excalibur too. Okay, I mean, Steve says no, I'm out of there. We'll get it. But the biggest problem that I think that Ember has, most of the time, if you're not fighting early game, then you're trying to get to a Battle Fury and damage items as soon as possible. But he's never going to get to a point in this game where he has enough damage to deal with an Ice Armor Tiny and an Ice Armor Centaur. That's pretty terrifying. Your physical DPS is just not enough. And against those 2 heroes, you also cannot stay in the fight. You always have to stay outside. Because if your Flame Guard's down, you die to a Tiny combo. And even Centaur's magical damage output is not negligible, you know, it's fairly big. So what do? You like try to get a Searing Chains off, you throw out a Sleight of Fist that does like 100 damage. Like that is not very good.
Nice, it's pretty good. Oh, look at that money. Oh, it's a fair bit of money here for him. And I mean, he is so close to his Academy.
He is so farmed.
15 minutes in, potentially going to see Axe blink on this Tiny. Level 11 as well. I mean, Steve, when he has a good game, he has a bloody good one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I did want to harken back a little bit to the draft. Yeah. Because when the Lich was picked, that was the immediate time where MFF just decided to pick Brood. And I understand the mentality. It's like, okay, they have a Lich.
Oh, look at this awareness as well. They found Demon. Jimmy's not getting out of this one.
Oh god, he even gets blocked by the Wolves.
Got done this.
Yeah. But I do feel like the Brood reaction to Lich was maybe a little bit hasty from MFF. They thought they could get a lane where, sure, you might get a little bit of experience denied, but you can overrun that lane with Broodlings. Like, that's probably their thought process. And okay, we can get an easy tower early and maybe a couple of dives.
Oh, Labs needs to be careful. There's 3 heroes ready to pounce. But yeah, so I mean, in terms of optimization, Jimmy did decide to go for the Vlads as his first bit. Yeah.
I mean, it's okay. I don't know what other item besides like Orchid or BKB he could have gone that would have given him any impact. Because he's gonna need a lot, and he also wants to stay off map pretty frequently. Actually, do I like Vlad's here? Maybe it's for Roshan. Maybe they go for like a Roshan play because they know that NLG are always like farming lanes and trying to go for relocates. Speaking of. Now, considering every single time... Actually, I'm gonna hold that thought middle lane.
Yeah, they might find something return this time. They'll get nature at least.
He's so tanky.
Oh, he nearly got off the chain frost.
I think it's better that he didn't.
Yeah, everyone got a drop. Can he catch out? I don't... They might be able to go for this here. Yeah, he toss back, glimpse back, Static Storm. And double edge to the back. It's just each time these trades are happening, MFF either finding nothing or finding the worst half in the toss just in time onto a rise. Oh my goodness, NLG. They are just walking all over MFF and Dante.
Yep. I think that NLG have a totally different draft mentality than a lot of people, and I think that's why even myself, like, I thought that maybe MFF had a slightly better draft in a way, because we think about the game differently. Like, I look at this draft from NLG and I think to myself, their laning phase might be a little bit weak, and I think that I favor lanes a lot. But NLG, they still won their lanes, even in, I would say, adverse situation. Of course, mid was probably going to favor them every time, but bottom, the Brood should win against the Centaur, but they don't care about that. This is like old school Chinese style of draft where we don't really care if we lose a lane or two, we're just going for the mid-game fight. And their mid-game is unbelievably strong in comparison to MFF. So it's not a matter of, do we win the lanes, it's a matter of, can you actually fight us once the laning phase is over? And right now, the answer for MFF is no, we can't.
I'd say it's down in the mid. MFF have to be really careful about these fights. So we saw, of course, in about 15 minutes in, finished off those bots. But he's got a long way to go before he's able to do anything in terms of just getting the DPS out when NLG come out with these pushes. It's... I mean, what is the plan for MFF? Do they just have to drag this out to a certain point where Singh does have the items?
I mean, I guess that's like the one thing that you can try. But here's the biggest issue. The Night Stalker is not really that effective because in the lanes he didn't really get to do much. And the other part is, the first 2 nights, he was pretty much non-existent. He didn't get nothing but like 3 assists.
If this fight that MFF are looking for here, they're coming into the Radiant jungle.
Spiders.
Alright, they all smoked up, and they land. Is he going to be able to turn into anything before he goes down? The max speed, gets the Static Storm out, so we just get this out. Gets the field down as well, but now Singh moving into Mitch. But Excalibur's just turned into the fight. He's looking for way to the toss as well. He'll get the Winter Wide, but the curse has been fucked up, but it just doesn't matter. Chainsaw's being put out before he does. Mitch goes down. They will get re-relocated out, and now Garter on the retreat, because Demon and Rise are turning. Glimpse back onto the Spider holding him back, but here's Sing. Look at Chainsaw into Garter. Looks like they're able to find a good trade for them this time. 2 for 1 here. Energy coming out on top. As you said, a little bit unfortunate the position that Excalibur found himself in, where he couldn't move himself out of the tree line, did have to get relocated back out.
He tried to blink over it and ended up blinking in it. That actually lost him the fight though, because if the Tiny is able to freely walk around during that team fight, he probably goes and cleans up everybody. But instead they end up chasing down, get 2 kills, so that was a little bit of a big mistake there by Excalibur, especially considering that fight will end up securing Roshan for MFF. So that's going to come back to bite them a tiny bit, and again, it's like you mentioned, they need damage items on the Ember real bad, and they also need KBs.
They also need to not lose weight just like that. Straight up. I mean, Excalibur's going to still stand and fight. Now that they've got the rush, they will TP back and see if Simpson can get a chainsaw, and he will.
Relocate soon. They can get him up. Spartan, I think, gets him out here.
This one is going to stick around for a bit and fight. And there we go. Goodbye.
Do they come back though is the question. They see that Singh is out of mana. He can only sear and chain.
I mean, the pings are coming out with these guys saying, guys, get over. Yeah, we want to fight.
Why is the Rice still here?
Alright.
Alright, he's running now.
Yeah. Okay, so at this point, Demon's applying some pressure on the bottom. We've got this group up from the side of NLG towards the mid and the top lane. Just keeping both of the lanes pushed in. Drums are now picked up on Singh, so he is slowly finding the items, but slowly really is the word in play here, as he is still 5k behind Excalibur in terms of net worth, and Excalibur at this point, he is closing in on the money for his AC, I think. What's he going with Curl? He's got a Hyperstone on him.
Does he go Moonshard or does he go AC?
He might be going straight Moonshard, so he has got a 2k for the second Hyperstone. Maybe that's the play.
He has Lich Armor, so
that's true.
It makes more sense just to go
20-minute Moonshard on top of Axe.
It's nice against Night Stalker as well.
Pretty scary.
Yeah. The vision bonus is great for the darkness, just to make sure that you can have something, but...
Absolutely. We'll see if you can set something up here for the side of Freedom Fighters.
Wait, does darkness set your vision range?
I imagine it will still add on from the Moonshard there.
I think so as well. Okay.
Same just gets caught out straight away. So once he's got some decent of this, could be a nice shift, but no, it bounces the wrong way in fact.
He relocated behind them. What's happening?
Okay, Excalibur maybe didn't want to be taken there by Spartan. Doesn't matter nonetheless, they've already killed Singh. They're looking for a Rise here as well. Now Excalibur gets back over. A Rise is caught in the field, Static Storm as well. Monster kill streak here for this Tiny. And I mean, they're the 2 high priority kills, so I think NLG will be happy with that. Even though the fight was a little bit messy, the relocate, a little bit strange. We're kind of predicting, I guess, where MFF might have backed off to, but they actually ended up going back across NLG's own side of the map. And they've got to get themselves back here, NLG, because this Tiny, if he gets his hands onto your tier 3s and onto the racks, they're going to fall pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, Singh is up in 5, so yeah, I feel like they'll be able to put some kind of defense. Because Tiny still does a crap load of damage, though.
Radiant's middle tower is being
Look at him go. After health down, Singh's moving forward, trying to find Milan is there. Avalanche very nicely done straight away into the Absol. And Singh's out. Comes back in. Oh, crazy. Straight up. Now Rosy's trying to move forward as well. They don't have the Winter's Curse. Spawn will be able to tether across. And now, seeing how he's shouted down, but they see him.
That's not going to work.
Easy gonna jam on the Wyvern.
He did try his best.
Yeah, something back in. Demon. Oh, they found the spider again. They'll get Jimmy. The Absol's still moving. Just absolutely want to keep fighting this. This is some really ballsy player from the side of Monkey Freedom Fighters. I think they will hold off. They don't want to go too ham.
I think this is a really good showing of what you can do against Ember. You just have like these very tanky mid-game cores that just have burst damage, like magic damage. Tiny, I think, is a great option against Ember in a lot of situations. Because you can't kill him on your own, right? You need other people to damage him for you. Otherwise, a Sleight of Fist is not going to do much.
At this point, MFF.
Radiant's bottom tower is being attacked.
What is their game plan now? Is how much money has he got on top of the drums?
He needs a lot of farms.
They can't be looking too pretty. He's starting to work towards his Battle Fury, but he is going to still need a fair bit of time before that one is complete.
Yeah, the Battle Fury is going to be alright. But they actually need to buy time for him to get like 2 or 3 items. It's not just one. Like just having a Battle Fury, that'll accelerate his farm, but it won't give him the damage that he needs to win fights just based on Sleight of Fist. It's gonna have to wait until a bit later. They just don't have a team that can stay in the fight long enough against NLG. Their burst damage is too high. There's also the static storm kinetic field to worry about. There's a chain frost. That's totally excluding the Tiny and the Centaur. Just those things enough, I think, make MFF a little bit hesitant to engage. And that's a free tier 1 in the offlane there for Excalibur. I don't even know if they can defend a tier 2.
More money for Steve. 3k garments off the moon shards. He's level 16 here as well in this Tiny. Only at this point do you go back for the AC? Or is there anything else that Steve might think about getting instead?
I think AC is good. I think Butterfly is also very good. Relocate here in the jungle.
Okay, well, they want to catch out. They're looking for a rise. Have they got the deeps?
It hurts bad.
Bring him low. The goose slows enough. The Stampede comes out, but...
Again, another late one though.
Rise is out of here. They relocate back out. And back to the bottom lane, and yeah.
Had they just popped Stampede right away, they would have killed the Rise for sure. I think Garter maybe thought they didn't need it. Miscommunication for sure.
Nonetheless, another free tower here for NLG. They'll take the bottom one. And that's CP to the top. Jimmy hiding in the trees. We need someone else to come if they want to try and catch him out there. It's just Milan here, dealing with that push. Here's Steve on the Tiny. If Milan can get some vision off the spider, almost certainly jump from that. Yeah, Jimmy's keeping it safe in the sidelines, making sure not to reveal himself.
He knows what happens when he shows.
Yep.
It is real bad for him. He is building BKB, which I think is the only item that's going to save him this game. Even if he tries to BKB teleport, he could still potentially get tossed, which is really annoying.
Yeah, and this is going to be AC coming out for Excalibur very shortly. Hyperstone and Plate Mile. And we'll use a few hundred more and we'll have that one done. And it's like he's just going to sit there, look to cut the crew off and come start with the brood mobile.
I wonder if Excalibur goes back for MKB or something, or if he goes for Manta instead. Like if you go for Manta, yeah, like after the AC is done, because I think MKB is great against Brood. That way the incapacitating bite is never really an issue for you. You could also go BKB.
Yeah, BKB could be nicer.
Yeah. Because there is crippling fear as well, right? But that's why, like, you would contemplate buying MKB this game on Tiny. Normally not an item that he likes to go for. Prefers to stick for, like, Daedalus for pure damage just because of how hard he actually hits.
I'd imagine that we'll see just NLG not go too crazy on the Tiny, at least until they get that AC, in terms of trying to break the high ground. In terms of killing people out of the side of the base though, a bit of a different story, because they're smoked up and they're ready to try and see if they can catch anyone out.
Yep. I feel MFF are going to need to defend the base, like, multiple times.
Yeah. It's all going to be about these defenses.
It's so hard though, like, they're going to need a perfect curse. They're also going to need NLG to dive, pretty much. But with Tiny having 33 armor right now, that's just so insane. Like, how do you kill this hero?
Ags is very surely going to run the way for Garter. They know he's here. They found the spider, and they will get the kill.
This is what I was saying earlier though, like the Brood is not a problem at all. Like, Centaur actually owns Brood, because you cannot run. No matter what, like, you're always going to be caught, because your webs don't put you above 522 movement speed, so you're always going to be running at the same speed. You get a dust out, you have vision from the spirits on the wisp, and you're caught. And if you don't have BKB, you're dead.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously talked about the win rate of Tiny Iron. We're really seeing the strength of this hero combination when it's put into the right set of hands, and what better set of hands to put it on than, of course, Excalibur on the Tiny. One of his best heroes in Spartan. I've got to know, all the NLG games that we've seen, they'll pretty much always get that IO for Spartan if it's available.
I was going to say, has this guy played anything but Wisp?
It's a lot of games. I want to say as well the 2 games that they beat Empire. I think definitely one of them he was on it, and probably even on both of them.
I think he's played one other hero, but I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. He played Lich, pretty much Shiva. Okay, thanks Shiva.
But he hasn't, he's just played a lot of IO. I mean, this man is an IO man.
Oh yeah, that's right, he did play Lich. Yeah, I remember now. Okay. So, I really think that the prevalence of Ember makes Tiny a bit of a stronger hero in a way. Yeah, because you're always looking for those really early fights on Ember, but Tiny is kind of the same. You can fight at a very early stage, you're not really reliant on the farm, and because Jimmy, he's got BKB.
He has got BKB.
Oh, and okay, yeah, just like, alright.
I'm not gonna say,
they don't have this.
Oh, damn it,
walk it off, yeah.
Oh, okay. Come on, Spawn, set it up.
Okay, Jimmy. Alright, Jimmy.
Oh my. Okay, good on Jimmy.
Alright. Life is hard as a spider. But that also lets MFF know there's a ward there, so.
Ag's now done on the center.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I actually think that it's really damn hard for NLG to lose. They gotta mess up so bad.
There's a Battle Fury now done on Saint. Almost 29 minutes in though.
He needs about 10,000 more net worth on top of that.
Yeah,
I mean, look at Excalibur's farm.
It's insane. He's double that.
Yeah, he's worth the Brood and Ember together.
That's insane.
Radiant's top tower is under siege.
I wonder if Hani will say his Tiny has improved.
Yeah, this Tiny performance has been good.
I think he did alright this game.
Yeah. 13 kills, 10 assists, 1 death. I mean, a lot of it is, of course, down to Spark's performance as well on the IO.
Yeah, that's true.
But even credit. Establish on slapping up, Sing Garter straight and bursting down. The Ember's up for pitch for 60 seconds. They can't kill Steve, even with throwing down the Winter's Curse. They do manage to find a kill onto the Disruptor, but the Chain Flash now coming out, forcing the Absol back. They'll bring Excalibur back out of this fight. Waiting for the opportunity to turn it out, so the BKB wears up for Jimmy. He's straight back in now, looking for Demon, looking for the Absol. Demon's in the out of place and healed by the cold embrace. Arise trying to kill Spawn, but they just can't kill the eye. Relocates the side.
Okay.
It is into the Absol, so Spawn does lose his life there, but it's alright elsewhere, because Excalibur's screaming out. The buybacks do come out from the Wyvern. Excalibur's looking for the rest to find it. I think Excalibur's dead.
I thought he was gonna blink on him. Can you
save him?
No, the Wisp is dead.
Okay. He might get Yapzor. Yapzor.
Miss chance. Oh, he's not missing it all, actually. Okay, he's not missed a single auto attack.
Garton turns back up, just jumps in onto Yapzor. Can they kill Steve?
Maybe.
I think Steve might kill them. Oh, here we go, guys.
Oh, God.
That damage reduction, Quill Spray, where you at? I'm waiting till where you at.
More buybacks.
Okay, buyback for the whistle. They need to kill Steve for it to be worth it. He's gonna have Avalanche again in 2 seconds. Does he just turn around and go, does he save himself? He saves himself now.
Back.
Okay.
Force that from Garter actually just made him run away. He's like, yeah, I'll take this one.
That was a very painful defense there for the side of MFF.
Oh god, yeah, they didn't even successfully defend. They still lost the melee axe. So, yeah, there's the MKB. Alright. I figured he might go for it this game. It is very uncommon to see this item on Tiny, but in this situation when there's 2 blinds to worry about,
it's very good.
Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, I don't even actually know why he bought it. The guy didn't miss a single attack when he had Crippling Fear on, just punched him, 100%. 50% confirmed, 0% by Dota 2, thank you.
I mean, yeah. I really don't know. The Tiny is just...
They can't do it.
They just couldn't kill him. They threw everything at him, multiple lives, and he just walks it off every time.
He is 600 gold away from having more net worth than the Ember and the Brood put together.
He is?
About 600. Maybe not exactly, but I'm sure Lumi Math will...
It's about 400.
Catch us up on that one. Is it?
It's very hard because it's changing all the time.
Yeah.
No way you are,
because it's like, it's 23,
it's about 23,700 now, and
yeah, so it's like 550.
It says 550, I'll start with that. 550 off him. I mean, that's a kill. If he gets a kill, he's gonna be... Yeah.
Oh my god, there's a... Okay. This is real bad. This is super bad. Okay, I don't think they have Glyph. No, they don't. Okay, that Midrax is dead. There's actually no way they can fight that. Well, there's actually no way. They're gonna see that DD and be like, well?
And that's not appreciate those racks when they're alive, because they're not really much longer.
That's not even with DD.
What's that for DD? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there we go. The humanity! He's still got the DD though. The eye managed to live through the initial fire there. They Salvage trying to move it on to Sings. He's like, he hides it very nicely, and this is the problem where BKB made. Well, look through the face here. He's fine.
He's actually just tanking 4 heroes simultaneously.
He really doesn't care. They just can't kill him.
They actually aren't gonna kill him.
No, Tiny's fine.
That is depressing.
Back to base as well, topping back up to full health. They'll bring him back in, I'm sure.
Okay, so what just happened is the Brood was fighting 4 heroes on NLG, and the Tiny was fighting 4 heroes on MFF. And the Tiny lived.
It's gonna be Makers, I think, at this point.
Yeah, it's game over. There's no way they can stop this.
I think there's a lesson to be learned here if you go up against NLG Gaming. Don't let them get the tiny icon.
I mean, I just really got to commend the draft. I underestimated it. I think everyone in the couch did as well. Sure, MFF didn't play a perfect game, but I think that they had all the tools they needed to make the Brood a complete non-factor. And when you don't have to worry about the Brood, like, think of how little commitment that NLG needed to kill that hero. Whereas normally teams draft around just stopping the Brood entirely. NLG did not have to deviate from their game plan to kill the Brood. It was just relocate, center ulti, kill.
Yeah, Jimmy wasn't an issue this game. He was not an issue, and
I'm a fan of this draft after having seen it in play.
NLG, they've been impressive over the last couple of days, so they 2-0 Empire, and they take a game against Monkey Freedom Fights.
I called 1-1.
They're going to be happy with that. They're going to be. I overestimated Sing Stack by at the end of the game.
Well, you are a fanboy.
A little bit, I mean, so that. I've already bought a t-shirt.
I've already bought it. Oh my god.
But no, no Logic Gaming, Tiny.